All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We're here to provide an update on the Lime Gulch fire. With us today, we have from Jefferson County, we have Sheriff Ted Mink and Commissioners Don Rosiers and Casey Tighe. Also from the Rocky Mountain Area Incident Management Team, the Incident Commander Dan Dallas. First, I'll ask Sheriff Ted Mink to say a few words.
Thank you. Hopefully you'll hear some good news when our incident commander gives you a briefing. But I wanted to express our gratitude for the Type 2 team and the Forest Service for helping with this fire. Obviously they play a major role in public safety and preventing a spread of it to structures and our citizens. So that's our primary focus, is public safety. Here on out, we are going to concentrate on getting and repopulating those areas, those individuals that have been evacuated. It's a small portion of it due to the population density down there. There's not that many homes that have been displaced, but certainly our primary goal is the recovery piece of it and getting those individuals back into their houses as soon as possible, restoring power, and hopefully getting them back to some type of semblancy of a stable life as we go along. So that'll be our focus as far as the Sheriff's Office. We have reduced some of the evacuation areas. A lot of residents have returned as a result of loosening some of those evacuation areas, and hopefully in the next couple of days everybody will be back in their homes and safe. Again, I want to point out there have been no structures lost, which is great news, and we will continue to work with the Forest Service until this situation is totally under control. So thank you.
Next, Commissioner Don Rosiers.
Good morning. I'd like to start off this morning presenting again the fire information hotline. If there's anyone who wants more up-to-date information on the fire, please call 720-583-4733. And this morning in our briefing, we had some good information provided to us and very positive. What happened overnight with the Type 2 team, with the Forest Service out there, Incident Command was very positive in what went on with firefighting efforts yesterday and the position of the fire from last night to this morning. If there's any information that you need, please call this number. I know yesterday the number was overtaxed for a while, so please call back. They will get back to you if you leave a phone number there. Give your any questions that you may have, leave it there, and they will call back and provide you with that information. As the sheriff said, throughout the day there may be release of more people getting into their homes, and we're also working with REA as far as trying to get electricity back online for as many residents in this area as possible. So we are doing the best we can right now. I'm very impressed with the Forest Service and the firefighters, the men and women with boots on the ground, what they are doing. They have minimized the impacts. We're still moving forward, being very cautious on how we go about what is going on here. At the same time, the results have been very, very well done. So with that, I'll pass it along.
Next, Incident Commander from the Type 2 Rocky Mountain Area Incident Management Team, Dan Dallas.
Sheriff, I'm trading with you, so you're pointing for that.
Give me the point.
Yeah. Good morning, everybody. Dan Dallas, I'm the Incident Commander for Rocky Mountain Team B. Well, there's been a lot of compliments, which we certainly appreciate, but I need to reverse that a little bit here. The participation that we've had and the interest, certainly from the Jefferson County Commissioners, has been outstanding, and then just the assistance from the Sheriff's Office. They're right there with us all the time. We're making plans together, and it's just been a great partnership, and we really appreciate that. That's helped us be successful and moved us forward and allowing us to hopefully help you folks get back to normal as quick as possible. As far as the fire itself, a little status update. we're looking at 511 acres today. So there was a little bit of growth, about 13 acres, I believe that is, from yesterday. We're calling it 15% containment. And as I've given in every briefing, I mean, we start at the back end of the fire, the heel of the fire, and move forward. So we're calling it 15% containment. We anticipate some really significant progress today. And as I talked about yesterday, this containment is containment itself. What that means to us is we're satisfied that the fire is not going to jump that perimeter at any point in time. So we're pretty conservative about it, but the truth is there's been, there's boot tracks all the way around this fire for 2 days. So, but this is the part that we're calling contain. As far as today, areas of emphasis, we're going to continue working on this flank here at Division X-ray, we call it. And that's because the predominant winds are pushing this way, and that's the way the fire wants to go. So that's an area that we're concentrating on. And then the other area we're concentrating on has to do with, as the commissioners talked about and the sheriff, kind of recovery. We want to get around this corner of the fire on the north end here. The reason is there's some power lines that go across here. And we're real sensitive, and we're well aware that there's people that still have their power out. And if we can get around this corner of the fire, we'll be able to turn that power back on for people, so they can get back into their homes. Number one, and then as much as possible, food in the freezer, those sorts of things are a major concern. So those are our 2 areas of concentration today. And we're hoping tomorrow when we talk to you that we'll have a whole lot more black on the map that we can share with you.
Okay, we'll open it up for a few questions.
Has personnel changed, up or down?
The personnel assigned to this is 383 today.
Okay, so it has gone up.
Yeah, and that's always a fluctuating number.
Yeah,
there are
right.
folks that are coming in, and
But it's basically gone up.
and there's also folks that have been being released to go to some other fires as well.
Okay.
Could you repeat that emergency number again?
Yeah, I wish I had it memorized on my.
I have it right here.
Yeah, it's 720-583-4733, and that's our fire information line.
The 13 acres that grew, can you show us on the map where that portion was?
Yeah, it was out. Not specifically, but it was out in
The
here.
question was, where was the growth in those 13 acres, and it was predominantly in the northeast portion of the fire.
Right, and then the other part, let me. I'm glad you asked that question. So, as far as the perimeter itself, it was in this area here. And let me address something, and I'm glad because you reminded me of it. I know people are listening on the scanners, listening to our radio traffic and stuff like that, and I probably created my own problem somewhat. The major concern on this right now is getting a fire established across the river, and that's what we want to prevent. And so I know yesterday, I believe there's up to 10 spots across the river. What I want people to understand is we actually expect that. That's just part of our operation. Trees flare up, sparks fly across the river. So I kind of created my own problem because there was spots across the river, but that's not in and of itself a concern. We have people standing right there. And so a spot that gets away is a concern, but during our normal operations, we have people staged over there, and so if people hear on the radio or are looking through a telescope out there and they see a spot across the river, we have people standing right there. It's only if it gets away with us, and so, or gets away from us. And so, there was 10 spots across the river yesterday, but they were never a concern. But it's kind of we all have our own language in our professions and stuff. I know the sheriff does and stuff like that. So the sheriff was concerned about it because they knew there were spots across the river, and we were wondering what's the problem. So it was more of a just using our own language. So I think we're on the same page now, but I just wanted to share that with people because that was a concern yesterday.
Okay, I had a 2-part question for Mr. Dallas, and that was one part. How many spots? Because I heard on the scanner, like you said, I heard there was spotting. can you tell me, second part was, can you tell us where approximately? One side more than the other side, what?
Most of them were right in this area, right where it's approaching the river, right as to the closest right here, right where they were, our folks were getting across the river on the raft. So right where it's coming closest to the river, so here and here.
That's right at the hotel, isn't it? The old hotel? Yes, no?
Yeah, close to it.
Okay.
No, the hotel's 4 miles downriver,
Yeah.
at least.
Well, it's
Way
close
off
to
the
it.
map.
One of them's close to a structure out here, I know.
Yeah, an old cabin.
Yeah.
Are you using a lot of natural fire lines, or are they actually digging a lot of lines?
That's a good question. The question was, are we using a lot of natural fire lines, or are we digging a lot of fire lines? And for the most part, it's going to have to be a dug line. They're putting line all the way around it. One of the things I shared with you yesterday was the decision whether or not to just allow this to continue to come down to the river or burn it out or go direct. Because of the evaluation that the people on the ground made, they're going direct on this section of line in here. It's cooled off, it's sat there for 3 days, it's not growing greatly, it's safe enough for them to get there, even though it's really steep, difficult ground to do it in. They've decided to just go direct, which in our world means that's the safest way to go. If you have 1 foot in the black and 1 foot in the green, that's the safest way to dig a line.
Any final questions?
Yeah. Can we get a firefighter up here for the next press conference? Sort of put a human face on the feet on the ground?
What I like to do is I get your contact information. We'll make sure we get you in connection with somebody who's been out on the ground, and we'd be happy to facilitate that.
I just think it would be nice, you know.
As you can understand, they're out working right
Oh, I
now,
know.
and they're out
That's
working
nice.
till in the evening. So we'll try and facilitate and make sure we can get somebody here to answer some of your questions.
So I give
from
you
on
the
ground.
number?
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Can I ask you
Appreciate
about the airstrikes? I think today a bomber came through? Or helicopters? Yesterday we only saw helicopters.
Right. We do still have helicopters working on this fire.
And any slurries?
Not that I'm aware
Not
of.
that, not at this time that we're aware of.
Which is, by the
need
way,
isn't there, right?
when you don't see that, just like there's not quite as many cameras and people around today, that means we're grinding away towards success.
And the weather's not changing.
Right. Well, the weather's really been about the same since the day this took off. We've been under a red flag warning every day since this happened for wind and low relative humidity, and that hasn't changed, and we don't anticipate it changing for a while.
All right. Thanks again, everybody. Appreciate your time and coming out.